Listen, I am telling you that
I don't agree.
Politics. Where is good governance?
Everyone is a political animal.
I don't like politics.
But I love political voices.
Political Voices exclusively on Dream FM, 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.
Progressive Congress, APC. His reaction was contained in a statement on Wednesday night by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu. The Nigerian leader described it as a bold move driven purely by principle rather than opportunistic motives. Buhari noted that he knows people will call him names, but that is the price men of principle have to pay for acting according to their conscience and conviction. National Assembly members from Ebonyi State elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have said they will not be defecting to the APC. Their leader and former governor, Senator Sam Egu, declared that the 3 senators and 5 House of Representative members remain in the PDP. Governor of Ebonyi State David Umahi has criticized his Rivers State counterpart Nyesom Wike, describing him as a dictator. Umahi, in an interview with Arise TV, revealed that Wike is single-handedly controlling the affairs of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) autocratically, which has made governors on the platform unhappy with him. According to Umahi, Wike single-handedly made Secondus the PDP chairman and tried to impose one of his own as the minority leader in the House of Representatives. And of course, in his own reaction, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has challenged Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State to a debate over the reasons Umahi gave for defecting to the All Progressives Congress. And Wike, during his appearance on Channels Television, threw the challenge, adding that he never stopped Governor Umahi from running for the 2023 presidency. The Rivers governor expressed disappointment over Governor Umahi's actions in the build-up to his dumping the PDP and his claims that injustice reigns in the main opposition party and that there are more opportunities for consultations in the APC, among other things. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of this. And moving ahead, the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation has assured that the new legislations on civil aviation will take care of the lingering issue of multiple designations granted foreign airlines in Nigeria. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Nolim Naji, in responding to the complaints by airlines and participants at second day of the public hearing on amendment bills on civil aviation acts regarding the policies of government that tend to undermine the survival of indigenous airline operators, agreed that such arrangement was detrimental to the growth of the industry. He stressed that the committee has taken note of the challenges such policy was posing to the local airlines and would see how the new laws could address the matter. And the All Progressives Congress APC Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee has dissolved the party's Ebonyi State Working Committee. Yekini Abena, Deputy National Publicity Secretary, made the announcement in a statement on Wednesday night. He said the decision followed refusal of factions to withdraw court cases as directed by the National Executive Committee, NEC. A 15-member caretaker committee has been appointed by the CECPC to take charge. And still on the issue of defections, Olusegun Bangbose, National Coordinator Concerned Advocates for Good Governance (CAGG), had said that by defecting to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State has clearly shown that he is not a thoroughbred politician. And the new Nigeria People's Party NPP chieftain said that it was politically naive of Umahi to believe that APC will give him their 2023 presidential ticket. And finally here, activist Kelechi Okeke has threatened to drag CNN staff to court over its independent investigation on the October 20 shooting incident at the Lekki toll gate. CNN in its footage showed how soldiers shot at protesters and proved that some protesters were killed at the protest ground. The Global TV network also tracked the bullet shells found at the scene of the shooting, which showed that they were purchased by the Nigerian government from Serbia in 2005. All right, a lot of things are coming up from the issue of NSAS and other things, but we'll be keeping tabs on those stories. Remember, you can join the conversation on Political Voices using the hashtag Political Voices on Facebook 925DreamFM and on Twitter at Dream925FM. You can listen live to our audio live stream on www.dream925fm.com. Stay with us. All right, this is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM, and the rising cost of living in Nigeria is our focus this morning. And of course, when we talk about rising cost of living, a lot of things come to mind. Many people are poor and hungry in the country. Cost of living has never been as high it's been now, and people are complaining aloud. Mostly affected are essential food items, which prices have risen beyond the income of many Nigerians. Talk about the pump price of petrol. Talk about even the price of onions. A lot of people say, okay, if you want to give someone a good Christmas gift, you should give him a bucket of onions. And we'll be talking about a great deal of this because I'm joined this morning on the program by Aniche Ndudim Roland. He is an ex-banker and financial analyst. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us on the program. Also on the program this morning is Dr. Dele Maxwell Ogwai. He's a social commentator and lecturer at General Studies Division in Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ESUT. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Enugu State, and good morning, Nigerians.
All right, I'd like to find out from you, Aniche Ndudim Roland. Help us paint a picture. When we say high cost of living, exactly what are we referring to?
Okay. It's related to what you earn as your minimum wage and your disposable income. Within these two, there are a lot of other factors, both internal and external, that has direct impact on your living standard. Okay. From the minimum wage, it has to do with revenues generated by the government to pay for workers' salaries. And that revenue is a function of economic activities of the government. The major revenue earner of the country is from crude oil. And because the price of crude oil has collapsed, it's about $43 per barrel right now. And presently, there's a glut in the market because there's so many factors. The major factor, which is America, which used to be the highest buyer of crude oil from Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, is now sufficient on its own because of fracking of their shale oil. So presently, they've stopped buying from Nigeria. Started from 2008, then from Saudi Arabia. It's of recent, and Saudi Arabia is the biggest producer, over 10 billion barrels. So because of that, there's a glut in the market. You also have Venezuela and Iran. They are under trade embargoes. So it has also added to the glut in the international market. Then on our own side, we have vessels on the highways looking for buyers. It's now a buyer's market, no longer a seller's market. So there's a problem. And those vessels are incurring demurrage. So it increases the cost on the side of NNPC. And the margin is very, very small. So your foreign revenues is not inching up the way it should be. And there's pressure because of our demand. Worst of it all, our refineries are not working to full capacity. So we're basically swapping crude oil for petroleum products. So that's one aspect of it. Then because we're not generating enough revenue, we have to augment from borrowings outside the country and increase in VAT. It's a big problem. So we talked about the revenue, minimum wage, which NLC were clamoring for. And I said it on this studio that we will pay dearly for this increase because wage increase is a mirage because at the end of the day, they will take more from you. Now, I did a simple analysis. The former minimum wage was 18,000 naira and it was increased to 30,000 naira. If you look at the calculation, there's just a difference. If you take 18,000 from 30,000, it's 12,000 increase. If you calculate the increase, percentage increase, it comes to 66%. Not long ago, they introduced VAT increase from 5% to 7.5%. Minimum wage is an outflow, is an expenditure on the part of the government. So there's an outflow from the government coffers. So 66% is gone. So, but they need to replace it back. So VAT was increased from 5% to 7.5%, which is 50% increase. Now you also have recently, which is a fuel price increase from 145 to 170. If you look at the difference, it's 14% increase. So you now have 60% as an outflow from minimum wage. You have 50% as inflow to the government, and also 14.2% from fuel price increase. Then you have the model of which is your inflation rate. Your inflation rate is recently NBS came out with statistics 14.3, 14.2, but we were 13.5. So averagely, we've been having inflation rate of between 11 to 12%. So if you add 50, 14, 11%, you have 75% impacting on the minimum wage, which was 66%. So net, you have lost extra 9%. So whatever money you thought you had as an increase is a mirage. You have lost further in terms of your real disposable income.
So basically here, excuse me, the maths you did was basically for those on the minimum wage cadre.
Yes. On the minimum wage.
Now, paint a picture with those who are running their businesses.
Okay. For those running businesses, the impact is on the VAT increase and the inflation rate. Technically, you're losing 25%. 25%. So if you're into any business and you're not earning, you're not having a markup of more than 25%, you're going down. If you're into any business and your profit margin is less than 25%, it's a complete loss for you.
25% of what?
25%. That's your income of your investment, your return on your investment. Your return on investment annually. It's not more than 25%. You're going down. So what most businesses will do is to adjust their prices. They will adjust their price. So that's why you now see general increase in prices of goods across board, because these businesses want to stay in business. You're not in business for loss. So there will be general price increases across board so that you'll be able to meet up with the standard and the prices and the market.
There is an adage my mother used to say all the time. So Nigerians have become what she would describe as akana ureza urumbume. So meaning that Nigerians are taking the brunt from both the stone and the teeth. So Dr. Ugwai, help us also come into this from your own side. Talk to us about how this is impacting the people of Nigeria.
Well, I listened to my friend, he's a banker, so, and he's into statistics. But he has painted a good picture. But one area he missed out was in the issue of purchasing power. Even if the seller increases his price or the price of what he's selling, whether he sells or does not sell is dependent on the purchasing power of the buyers. If people do not have the wherewithal to buy, because it's not profit itself that grows business, it's the turnover that grows business. For example, in Nigeria, we have always said it here that it's a government of anything goes. We do not have a price control mechanism. Everybody is, we practice capitalism without capital in Nigeria. Everybody is on its own. Everybody is doing whatever. That's why you buy something from shop A, 20,000. The next person in shop B will say it's 25,000. No price control. And the people of Nigeria is becoming terribly unbearable. When you go to town, you listen to what the how do I put it now? The wailings, not the not the feminization kind of wailing. It's wailings, the lamentations and all that. You realize that, and it can only get worse because there is no mechanism that suggests that there's a leeway that maybe after this time everything will come back to normal, because we live in a country where nothing that goes up ever comes down. Even if every other thing, if every policy, everything is suggest that it must come down, it hardly comes down. Today, because it leverages on almost everything. When you take fuel, keke now to anywhere is 100 naira. If you have 3 children in school, for example, instead of 150, 300 naira a day, it's now multiplied by 2. That's 600 naira. An average family spending 600 naira on 3 children. That aside school fees, aside every other thing, feeding and other thing, on transporting your children to school every day. 600 times 20 days or 22 days in a month. That gives you 12,000. 12,000 instead of 6,000. And minimum wage, because when you talk of minimum wage, this idea of minimum wage is just, I've never seen anything more terrible than that, because minimum wage without corresponding health insurance, minimum wage without corresponding accommodation, minimum wage without nothing else, because from that 30,000, that's where you take your that's where you take your children to school, that's where you pay your house rent, that's where you pay your health. You pay your hospital bills. That virtually everything is tied to that minimum wage. Unlike what we see in other countries, where you have health insurance, you don't need to scratch your head when you get home and your child is sick. You don't need to begin to run around. There's already a social support, that social policy that take the child to the hospital, because being deducted. Assuming at the end of when you go to Europe, for example, you spend your money, your salary on your personal need, not necessarily on hospital, not necessarily for transport and other things. But in Nigeria, everything is, we negotiate on daily basis our existence, because in Nigeria we only exist. We are only existing. We are not living in the real sense of it. You negotiate with the keke. You negotiate with the garri seller. You negotiate with the yam seller. You negotiate with the restaurant. You negotiate with your landlord. You negotiate with police. You negotiate with your identity. You negotiate with everything. And nobody cares. Do you know why they don't care? Because in Nigeria, everybody is on his or her own. In the sense that the people that are supposed to be regulating these things, they don't spend their own money on this thing. As I speak to you, Alex, most of our leaders, political elites, they don't even know that Gary is sold at 500 naira, because they cannot get to that market where Gary is sold at 500. Everything is contracted out. Even toilet roll, don't be surprised. Go to government houses. Toilet roll, you buy 250 naira at the open market. To them, it's around 1,000, because they needed to get supply from, because they don't even know how much all this thing costs, because they are not directly affected. And that's why the whole thing is burning down, is coming down to the people of Nigeria, the masses. And I tell you, it will get to a time, because Nigeria is structured to always have a better yesterday. Today, dollar is 480. I think, am I right? I don't know.
485.
485. I'm not aware. I'm not sure if it can get lower than that as we move forward. And not getting lower than that means a lot of things will begin to go up. Fuel can never get to 150 again. Forget all this abracadabra shenanigans they are telling us that because of crude oil, it can never go lower. From just 4 weeks ago, it was 158. This week now, it goes to, it went to 170. And I bet you, before the end of the year, it may go to 1, because it's on free fall. It's everything goes. And before you know it, they'll be comparing it even in Saudi Arabia. It is, fuel is 260. Even in US, fuel is this. But what is the minimum wage of Saudi Arabia? How is the health insurance functioning in Saudi Arabia? What is the public utility? What is the level of public utility in Saudi Arabia? They won't tell you all this. They won't tell you the facility, the public utilities being enjoyed by the citizens of Nigeria, of those countries. They are only interested in a minimum wage. What is 360? 260 in Saudi Arabia. Is it the same thing as 170 in Nigeria? Is it the same thing? It cannot be the same thing. We go to all this country. What is sold, for example, you go to Euro, what is sold 2 euro 2016 is possibly still 2 euro 2020, because they have a mechanism where you control, but you don't bring anything and label it any price you want. There must be people to to regulate based on what today I just said. The markup. You don't make you don't make gains astronomically in those countries, because you just can't buy something there must be percentage of your profit. I think I'm right. There must be percentage of your profit. But in Nigeria, boom, anything goes. Why won't they control it? They don't care, because they are not directly affected by the implication or the consequences of those price increase. And now the Nigerian people are burning the brunt of those increment, and it cannot go down. It's going up. It's going up. School fees up, fuel hike, electricity is going up. All these things are on people whose sources of income have remained stagnant. That's why, for example, I'm from the ASU sector, teaching sector. Since 2009, they reviewed the salary of ASU last, the lecturer in Nigerian University, 2009. Now everything is going up, including your house rent, your school fees, NEPA, everything is going up. But you still remain on the same salary for 11 years. How do you survive? Apart from the fact that then other things are not being taken care of. What of those people that are working in Nigerian universities? The transport people, the business center people, the food seller and all that depend on UNN, that depend on ESU, that depend on UNIZIC, that depend on UNITOP for their daily need. You are not catering for them. Only for Buhari yesterday to begin to celebrate that 110,000 people have received their first something on survivor fund. This is a country of 200 million people, and your president is celebrating that 110. Even in Enugu, my village, you can't even celebrate that 110,000 people have received survivor fund. It doesn't make any impact. Even in Enugu, my village, not to talk of the entire country. So that is the problem we are having.
All right. Aniche Ndodim Roland, there seem to be a lot of things that are not going well in the country. But talk to us about how far this can go. How much do you think Nigerian people can be pushed in terms of the high cost of things? At what point will it get to and people will no longer be able to buy things that they need? At what point should it get before it bounces back again?
I think Nigerians are already there. We've been stretched beyond our elastic limits, and the reaction was the answers. The answers was something brewing, and it just needed the event, and that the answers was the event, and you can see the repercussions. And the police right now are finding it difficult to go back to work.
They're technically on strike
because I told somebody that the 2020 naira they used to collect on the street, I do not see them doing that any longer, because the people will revolt. So, in terms of our elastic limits, we're already at it. So, I just hope we can navigate as a nation out of that limit, that point, and concrete steps needs to be taken, because we are bleeding from all sides.
So what are those steps that need to be taken? Because we are taking a look at how prices of things are going up. It doesn't look like we can control what happens with the dollar. So what should be happening from the office of the finance minister to the office of the CBN governor and to the office of everyone who's got something to do with the financial and economic value chain?
It's a whole lot of, because you have we have external influences. Now, technically, the whole world is on a recession. If you choose to believe it, it's because Europe, America, their country is down, there have been bailouts. Just that region, and it has a way of impacting global effects. And the whole world is on the verge of a new paradigm shift in global finance. That's another topic entirely. But let's come back to Nigeria. We need to start addressing our refineries as a problem. I left secondary school in 1992, and it was at that point our refineries packed up till this day. We need to sit down as a nation and address our refineries, the 3 refineries that are now working to maximum capacity, so that we end this issue of importing. We are blessed as a nation that the crude oil is in our backyard. So we should not be subject to international prices, because it's a crude oil which is mined right in front of us. Let's not use it. It's just like you have oranges in your backyard, and the juice out of it, you are paying more than what it should be. It doesn't add up. I've listened to so many analysts come on air to defend this price of crude oil, price of PMS at 170. It doesn't add up to me personally. If we refine our crude oil here in Nigeria, this price will come down. You don't need to be a petroleum economist. You do not need to be a petroleum for you to understand what's going on. You're not going to be subject to international prices of the crude oil. Even the so-called subsidy, you cannot subsidize your factor of product, the price of at the production stage, so that life becomes meaningful to Nigerians. Because this price of crude oil, increase in pump price of PMS, is an indirect tax and affects everybody, the rich, the poor. If you're in PDP, you're in APC, you're in ABGA, so there's nobody.
In your opinion, I'll come to you, Dr. Ogwai, in a moment. In your opinion, Anita Roland, who are the biggest beneficiaries of the increase in PMS price?
There's no beneficiary.
Marketers.
No one is benefiting.
See,
The marketers.
see, at the end of the day, because we're all in a boat together, Nigerians are going through frustrations. So even if you think you are benefiting by importing and selling, there is general insecurity in the land. Nigeria is no longer investment friendly because the atmosphere is charged up. The slightest spark, there is riots, there is civil disobedience, and investors are not going to be safe investing in a country that is very, very volatile. So, at the end of the day, everybody, we as a nation, are losers. That is just whether I don't want to know whether you're a big importer or whatever. At the end of the day, the economy is not going to be friendly for doing business.
All right, let's have your thoughts now, Dr. Dele Maxwell Ogwai. I'm sure there's something you wanted to add to that.
For me as a person, I do not even believe that we should continue to emphasize on oil. We have so many countries that don't have oil. They are living well. I'm not aware if Germany has oil, or Singapore or Japan and all that. Today they are first world. I'm not even aware if China is part of OPEC, and today they are living well. But in order to live well, what has happened today in Nigeria? Farmers pay bandits in order to harvest their farm produce. They pay pan in Zamfara, in Katsina, in every. So what has government done to? We say we diversify into agriculture. Now, to what extent has government protected the farmers from bandits into making sure that the food they are producing are being produced under normal circumstances, under friendly environment. Today, insecurity is one of the greatest threats to Nigerian survival. I'm happy that Ndudi made mention of it, because I was coming to that. In a country that, part of why food prices are on the increase is a result of food coming from the north. Today we are talking of onions. If you want to win a guest now, be an onion seller. you will easily, they are the new set of millionaires we are having around now. So rice. The other day we learned that in Kebbi State, almost 25% of the rice farm were washed away by flood. Now, bandit is not allowing the people in the core north to go to farm and produce. Then in the south, what is the effort of government in making sure that they motivate farmers? Where are irrigation? No irrigation. How do we respond to climate change? Today, everybody is saying that dry season started very, very early. That is going to be very difficult surviving this year, because at this time last year, 2018, we were still having some rain, but the rain has stopped now over 1 month ago, which means that it's no longer going to. And these things have direct impact on our agriculture. And how do we begin to look at these things? How do we begin to respond to all these challenges, whether natural or man-made? Nothing is happening. Every day we're having, technically, police is on strike. Technically, police is on strike for the past 1 month.
But just to get the record straight, the police are not on strike. They haven't announced that they are.
I said technically. Didn't say
no. We are setting the record straight.
If you have a police case now, or you want to report somebody, call police. There's a social security challenges around your environment, and let's see whether they will respond or not. That's why I say technically. Now, if you don't have security, you are not sure of your security, don't even go to your farm because of all this headers farmers class. How do you begin to produce food that will be sufficient for a country of 200 million people? Because we have handled a lot of things with levity, and that is why the repercussion, and the chicken is coming home to roost, and that's why all of us are crying, is because we have failed to do the right thing. Address security issue. For the past 10 years, the political class refused, because majority of them are contractors. Majority of them are benefiting from the insecurity, because they don't care whether you live or I live, because as long as the bank alert continues to come in, they don't care. Now, because there are no security for the farmers to go to farm, because if you even go to north, it's a two-edged sword. As a farmer, you are afraid of the bandits. Then you are afraid of the soldiers mistaking you for bandits. So both ways you lose. You stay at home. So the one you have planted, you have to even pay the bandit. Please, between so and so time and so and so time, please allow me to harvest my farm produce. At the end of the day, the money you paid to the bandit will still be added to the price of instead of selling your bag of rice or bag of onion at 10,000. You have to add the money you pay to the bandit. And the people transporting you from Abuja-Kaduna road now is no-go area as we speak. Around 33 villages along that road is no-go area. You can't even drive directly along that area. So these are some of the things that have added to the increase in food prices. And government is not even addressing anything. They are not addressing anything. The productivity level of Nigerians is so low that most people are not producing anything. Our country is a consuming country. We don't produce, but we only consume. So until we begin to look at all these things, we may not get headway. As I always said, Nigeria is structured to always have a better yesterday, and nothing has changed to the contrary since I became an adult.
All right then. This is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. This morning we're taking a look at the rising cost of living in Nigeria, issues and concerns, with Dr. Delamax Olugwai and Aniche Ndodim Roland in the studio doing some analysis. You can be part of this analysis by calling our studio lines 0902 0020 925, and you can send your messages on Facebook 925 Dream FM or on Twitter at Dream 925 FM. Do well to use the hashtag Political Voices. Call us on 0902 0020 925. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and location?
My name is Wankwo Biora from Mongo.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I adopt my hat to the speakers there with you. In fact, I'm so happy and so grateful with what they are saying. But I want to make one point, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Oh,
please.
very good. You see, the problem in Nigeria is something that we don't know where to start from. And I love the way the other man, one of the speakers there, was downtrodden to know the happenings of the poor people in the village. Now, I want to make one point. Look at some of the state teachers in Enugu State. Since August, the date, nothing is happening. Where are we going? What is happening in Nigeria? They have not been paid their pension, and all of them are dying daily. Look at the high cost of things in Nigeria. Look at the high cost of things in Enugu State. Where are we going? Where are we going? What is happening with us? We the Igbos are the people in ourselves the more. Now, that is what I want to say. Let this thing be addressed. We are dying. Those of us are dying.
Okay.
Children are out of school.
You've made your point. Thank you.
Nothing is happening.
Yes, thank you. You've made your point. Call us on 09020020925. We'll have a message on Facebook. Comrade Jeremiah Okore says, high cost of things expected because of the pandemic, but it is the duty of government to subsidize and regulate prices of essential commodities. It is the price we are paying for refusing to diversify. Even the agricultural programs are not being sincerely implemented. Hello, good morning. What's your name and location?
Good morning, gentlemen in the studio.
What's your name and location? Good morning to you.
All right, my name is Gabriel Ivaja. I'm calling from Ibabale, Enugu State. Thank you. I always feel happy once it's 9 o'clock, at least in 5 days, at least 5 days in the week. I appreciate what you are doing. Thank you. My brother, I see. Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. The problem we have in this country is just that we fail to understand what mirror is all about. Are you getting it? Yes, in your house, you dress up, you go to the mirror and look at yourself the way you dress. But our leaders, they fail to understand what they're supposed to do. For instance, this fantastic analysis people used to give us 5 days in a week. They fail to understand it. They fail to listen to your people. They will listen from one ear and they will go out from the other one. Please, I'm surprised, and I pray that our leaders will change. That is all I have to contribute.
Thank you so much. We'll go back to Facebook now. Gede Friday says, Gede Friday from Okwombo in Ohuku. Says, good morning, Dream FM. In Okwombo, half basin of Gary is 4,000 naira. That's interesting. Ovuna Deklan says from Alikiko in Ebonyi State that he is of the opinion that government should be focused on economic diversification and stop depending on oil production alone. Meanwhile, I think the federal and state government need to encourage their citizens to mechanize agriculture and skill acquisitions. Therefore, what are the magic other oil-producing countries do? I don't know what they're writing here, to improve their economy. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and location?
Dr. Ezego Emmanuel is from Anambra State.
Welcome.
Thank you. My dear, you guys are doing beautiful analysis. But the fact still remains that the political leadership of every society determines which way they go. Our politicians are not interested. They don't even believe that human beings exist in Nigeria. They don't think of Nigeria. It's all game of exploration, collecting so much money that at times I sit back to imagine, do they know the function of money? You see somebody steal to the tune of billions, and yet they cannot pay the lecturers. They cannot make proper arrangements for the kids. From one useless situation to the other. A guy in that studio said that since he was born, it has always been changes of words. It's quite a pity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. We'll have a message on Twitter at Dream925FM from AGK2444. It says, so long our refineries are not working, the price of dollar will continue to rise as well as the price of commodities. We must sort out our security to allow food to circulate. Depending on imported food will crash the economy more. And then he ended by saying, police still extorts in Nsoka. I don't know. Maybe we need to confirm that still. Hello. Good morning. All right, call us back 0902 0020925. Another message on Facebook here. Mama John says it's from Enugu Ezike. He says, my brother Dr. Gwai, in special way I agree to you. I think government should diversify economy. Don't depend on oil. Revamp all industries and provide a playing ground for those that have different skills. Alex, come to my town, Enugu Ezike, and see how deplorable our lives look. Hunger is everywhere. Those small jobs that people do to earn a living is not there. Cement is sold at 3,000 naira. All right, someone from Enugu Ezike just sent a message.
You feel like you are in another planet.
That's interesting. And another message from Twitter at Dream925FM says from
Listen, I am telling you that Buhari
I don't agree.
Politics. Where is good governance?
Everyone is a political animal.
I don't like politics.
But I love political voices.
Political Voices exclusively on Dream FM. 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.